Hi everybody, and welcome back to another episode of my screenshot Minecraft series. Now, this is where we left off. This is a picture of a village, and ideally, I would like to maybe come back here in my survival world and show all this to you in person, but my survival world recently, I don't have access to it any longer. It got corrupted, and all that's left of it are these screenshots. So I was feeling a bit nostalgic this evening, and I was flipping through some of my screenshots and then remembered that it's been some time since I posted a video. And I apologize for that, but my channel is made up of Minecraft videos, and something went wrong with my version of Minecraft on my computer, and I can't access the game. I kept getting different error codes and eventually got down to the point where I would need to uninstall and reinstall Minecraft to get it to work. And that happened almost 2 weeks ago. So I couldn't get onto this world even if I was able to. But let's just forget about all that and delve into the world of my survival world. Now, this screenshot is of one of my ocean villages on what was my southern ocean. And now, if you're new to this series, I'll just give you a bit of a backstory on this ocean. It's a fair ways south of my compound, and it is a rather large ocean. I originally made my way over here because I wanted to find a desert temple to locate a saddle. And this was a few years before I walled in these villages. But I eventually located a saddle. I circled all the way around the ocean, putting torches periodically along the shoreline. And once I got my saddle, I returned to my ocean outpost, which was at the kind of along the north shore, and I tamed a horse, several of them actually, and I brought them back to my compound. But over time, I eventually came back to these villages. And this is a shot of one of the villages. It was in a swamp shortly after I walled it in and lit it up. And the funny thing is, since I did that to this village, I've never been back here. All in all, there are 6 villages on this ocean, or within striking distance of it. And this is one of those. This is another one. This is what I refer to as the main village. It's kind of where I have my base of operations in this region. That's looking west. My ocean outpost was pretty much straight this way. If you can see where the mouse is, I'm not too sure if you can. And this is my house that I built in this village. I kind of took a blacksmith shop and built a second level on top of it. In some of the other villages, I actually built my own structures. But in this village, I took over the blacksmith shop, and he still works, or rather, he still worked below me. These dirt beacon towers, they're not real beacons, but they have lights on top. These are remnants of my excursion to locate a desert temple. I found 2 desert temples. Neither of them had saddles. And then I happened upon this desert, and I walked southwest, and I left these dirt towers every 50 to 100 blocks to let me know the way back. And in this desert, I found the desert temple that had the saddle. You know, in my survival world, I never made it to the end. I had a portal that I activated, but I guess I figured I had all the time in the world to go into the end, but I guess not. Now here I am riding a donkey, carrying supplies, heading south from my compound to the ocean outpost. And I have a trail of torches showing me the way. The ocean outpost is kind of this way if I were to go straight that way. Now, I've explored this whole area, but off to the right, kind of behind this spruce tree, there's a ravine system that I named the Polar Ravine. And almost directly below me, on level 12, is a railway. Actually, let me take that back. That railway didn't exist yet. Hence the reason I was traveling on the donkey. That's one thing that I did a lot of, was moving supplies around to different outposts. But I eventually consolidated the bulk of all my equipment in my compound stockrooms. Here is the another village, the largest village on the Southern Ocean. And this was, I remember this well, this was the night before I walled this village in. This is a large village on a hillside. It was kind of awkward to wall this village in. You can see I have a fair few walls ready to go. I needed hundreds of walls to wall in this village. There's looking up to the ceiling of the blacksmith, or the former blacksmith shop. At this point, I had claimed the lower level as well. That's at that point, stone slab ceiling. These days, this is a smooth stone slab ceiling. But back in the day, this was the stone slab. So I had a lot of these back at my compound. Not too sure why I have so much sand, probably for glass. This is the upper level of the structure that I built at what I refer to as the hill village or something along that line. This village is the big one that I walled in, and the main village is a straight shot to the east. And I built this little building to it's kind of a replica of Relaxing ASMR's living quarters in his castle. And this is a little harbor that I built on the lower level. This village was always very secure. I never had any trouble with any monsters spawning inside. Mind you, this was before the pillage update. And I hadn't been back here. I had not been back here after the pillage update, so there was quite a bit of room. I built the wall way outside the village itself, so there was plenty of room for pillagers to spawn inside the walls, and I hope that wasn't the case. But like I said, I hadn't been back, so I don't know. And I guess I never will know. And these torches, these were placed on my original circumnavigation expedition, but my main village on this ocean is a straight shot that way, just over the horizon line. And another view of the hill village, kind of looking out the window to the garden area. And here you can see the wall that I built all the way around this village prior to me lighting the village up fully. I do remember now. I had to kind of block the villagers into their houses at this stage to keep them from letting the zombies in. But once this village got lit up, I never had any more trouble. There's a watchtower that I built. It's in the clouds. It's so high. And now, this is after I lit it up. Another shot looking to the east. And another shot of that upstairs room. And now we're back at the main village in my upstairs house. Got the little bed in the corner and kind of a little sitting area with a table. This is all so crude compared to the realm. I look at this now. Back when I built this, I thought this was pretty good, but not so anymore. Here's the lower level. Under that trapdoor is a ladder going down to a storage area, a furnace room, and the minecart terminal. I believe this was after I built the railway. I'm not positive though. Here's a view just outside the house harbor at the hill village. Again, I was quite happy with how this turned out, but after seeing all the incredible builds in the realm, this just seems so crude. I think these were the first 3 pieces of glowstone I obtained by trading. Prior to this, I thought that the only way to obtain glowstone was in the nether by mining it. And you can see why I called this the hill village. And yeah, I know that's quite a few torches, but in my survival world, there is no such thing as too many torches. You can see the obvious influence of RelaxingASMR's house in that little structure. Most of this village, I just kind of kept the layout that it had and just built. I built a wall all the way around it, and like I said, this was before we had to worry about pillagers shooting over the wall. So as long as the zombies and the skeletons couldn't get in, everything was hunky-dory. There's kind of an aerial view just as the sun was starting to set. You can see it's lit up pretty good, and it is a pretty big area. One of my regrets was that I didn't start I guess I shouldn't say that because I did have a mine here, but I wished that I could have started a strip mine here, but I never got the chance. I did have a mammoth strip mining operation at my compound. I guess I kind of made up for it. Yeah, it's a pretty sight. That's a pretty sight. Eventually I made this village just one big square. And all these torches are in rows. And they're spaced an equal distance apart. Now this is another village. This was the first one that I sort of set up camp in. Even though I didn't wall this village in, I did post an iron golem to defend the village. And way to the south, I did some exploring. I found another desert temple there that I ransacked of all the terracotta blocks. And you can see some dirt beacon towers leading off to the south. Over in that direction, just past the desert temple, I did a lot of mining for sand, for glass, and sandstone. And I had a little outpost that I established out there called the Sandstone Mine. And I haven't been back there since I built that more than 3 years ago. And way to the south is another ocean, but I did not journey around that ocean yet. But this little building here is kind of a small outpost. There's the hill village from the ocean. looks very, very pretty lit up at night. And there is the main village. You can see the blacksmith shop with the living quarters on top and a small watchtower. Now this village is about half the size of the hill village. I was going to build an underground minecart from here to the hill village at some point, but I never got around to doing so. There's an underwater monument that I was giving a wide berth. Back when I first rode around this ocean, I rode right over the top of that. And I heard a kind of a zapping noise, and I saw this one-eyed green fish thing that just kind of floated into the middle of my screen, and I was terrified, and I took off. Now, in the realm, I've well, not even just in the realm, in this world, I've explored some of these and gathered some prismarine blocks, but this one I still gave it a wide berth. Not a huge fan of guardians. I think that's what they're called. Yeah, I spent a long time at these villages. Spent many months. I think I'm heading across the ocean to, yeah, the sun's rising. Yeah, heading back somewhere. I'm not even entirely sure where I'm going. There's an Ocean Explorer map. Sunrise. I was always intrigued by that hole in that mountain. There's rowing west. You could see the hill village and the giant watchtower structure. Here I am in that hole that I just talked about, lighting it up and mining it out. There's the main village, and I think, I'm not too sure why I would have been coming from this way, unless back in that direction, up a river, there was another village that I kind of went overboard and walling in and lighting up. That might have been why I was coming from that direction. I have a lot of wood. Yeah. Yeah, this is that village that I kind of went a little bit overboard in walling it up and lighting it up. And since I did this, I've not been back here. So I guess you could say I did this all for nothing. Well, not really, because the villagers are safe, and that's the important thing. Yeah, that's a nice find, isn't it? Diamonds on top of gold. It doesn't get much better than that. I think this was in back at my compound in a strip mine. Maybe not though. Yeah, this is that river. That walled-in village that I kind of went overboard on is up in here. And the main village is back. If you follow this and kind of follow the shoreline, it's back that way. Here's the hill village. Here's that other desert village. This is also up it's not right on the ocean, it's up a river. You follow the river to the end and you come to this place. And I didn't have any intention on ever coming back to this outpost. So I gathered all the supplies from the chest and I didn't want the villagers to suffer. I figured it was better a quick death at my hands and a slow one at the hands of the zombies. So before I left, I dispatched the remaining villagers as well as the iron golem. And this is on the shoreline looking to the west. And this is the desert where I found the first village and my first desert temple. I think I was just kind of checking things out. I did notice when I came here that things that were left lying on the ground like zombie flesh were still there, even after many years, because I'd only been here for a few minutes. Yeah, this was, I remember, I think back on this with some really good memories of roaming around this ocean, placing torches. Because in these days, you didn't have to worry about phantoms or drowned zombies. The ocean was like a giant safe haven, just as long as you stayed away from the underwater monuments. And roaming around an ocean at night and seeing your torches in the distance. Few things in Minecraft are as tranquil. Let me tell you. Good times. Kind of like this. Man, I miss the days before the aquatic update. Here's looking west from the upstairs of the house in the main village. And here are my furnaces below the house. And they're blazing away. Not too sure what is inside them. Maybe food? Food or iron or something like that. And my storeroom. And at the other end of the storeroom is a door. Or maybe, what am I doing here? Oh, I think maybe this is when I was mining the corridor to Ocean Outpost underneath the ocean that eventually ended up being the railway. Yeah. That's exactly what this was. Over there is a village that I walled in. That's the village where that's where I learned the hard way not to put any doors in the wall, because at night all the villagers would open the doors and walk all over the place and let the zombies in. I think all the villagers were killed off in about 2 days here, so I put a lot of work into this place for nothing. And Ocean Outpost is literally just a like a 5 block by 10 block hole that I dug out of a hill. You can see I've got plenty of minecart track and redstone torches ready to build this railway. And this was a very long railway. Nice shot of the hill village. And I built a couple animal pens. Eventually I kind of demolished this area and expanded the village out that way. You can see there's that hole in the hillside. That's all lit up now. There's the Ocean Explorer map. You know, I figured that this was so great, and I completely forgot that there was an underwater monument literally right in front of the village, so that was the biggest waste of a trade ever. Oh boy. Not too sure why I took 2 screenshots of this roof. Yeah, there's remember how I mentioned at the back end of that storeroom there was a door? It led to a staircase that went down a few levels, and then I had this a door leading to a cave, and I mined out this floor. And it's a good thing, that's the golden rule in Minecraft: never ever mine the block you're standing on, unless you're like mining for flint or something where you tower up and know what's beneath you. But I discovered this ravine down, way down below me, and I'm not sure how well you can see it, but there's cobblestone going all the way down and a torch down there. That's kind of a spiral minecart track that kind of works its way up and up and up to this level. And that's the minecart track that goes shooting off to Ocean Outpost. And there is a abandoned mine shaft poking out right over there, I think. And I think I might have explored some of it, but I don't think I explored it all. And here I was planting some watermelons, I think. Yeah, back behind that house is a kind of a mine shaft that I dug, and deep, deep, deep below the ground is an abandoned mine shaft that I cleared. I had a lot of fun doing that. Not sure if I took any screenshots of that or not. Now this was an interesting area because the ground drops off sharply here. This well was kind of just floating. It spawned in a really weird spot, so I had to find a way for the villagers to get up here and walk around it and still be able and still have enough room for the iron golem to walk through this corridor. So it was a tricky bit of sidewalk construction. Excuse me. And the gravel pathways, I never really was a huge fan. I think I converted a lot of these to stone brick. Here's an updated window in the lower level. Yeah, I kind of like this place. It was cozy, but it was cool. I enjoyed the time I spent here. And I built some kind of chandeliers up here. I'm not sure, do the fence posts connect to glowstone these days? I think they do. Back then they didn't. See, back in this main village I used the acacia wood for everything. And in the hill village I used birch for everything. I kind of kept themes going. This is Ocean Outpost. Literally just a hole in the wall with some furnaces and a crafting table and a bed. There's a harbor down over here, and there's a staircase leading to an area down here with the mine cart and also some mining tunnels. This is the Ocean Outpost observation tower above the stable prior to the construction of the why can't I think, the railway. I used horse travel to get from place to place, and it was very fast, probably faster than the railway. Now, this is the Southern Ocean, and over here you can see two torches. This is, on this mountain, were like 5 or 6 llamas, and eventually I tamed these llamas and brought them back to my compound. And this is the construction of the tunnel that houses the railway from Ocean Outpost back to my compound. Now, in around my compound, I constructed my tunnels and my railways in such a way that they kind of curved. They didn't really go through caves, and when they did, I was very wary. But at this point, my confidence in battling the monsters was pretty good. And I didn't want I think it was like a 600 block long tunnel that curved and went every which way. So I made it straight. It went all the way from my bottom outpost of the compound, which was I think on like level 5. It went up to level 13, hooked south, and went straight as an arrow until it was level with where Ocean Outpost was, and then it hooked east for I think 150 blocks to Ocean Outpost. So it was as straight as I could make it. And it did go through a number of different ravines. This one was pitch black, so I went up, kind of built a bit of a pathway here and let some lava flow down, so I had some light to work with. This one actually, I don't think I met really any monsters in this one, but other ones were pretty brutal. And I did quite a bit of mining when I made this tunnel. Yeah, this was a bad ravine. I remember this one. I remember this one, boy. I didn't clear all the caves and all the ravines I came to because the main priority was getting the railway built. But when I saw this, I just couldn't help myself. I had to do a little bit of exploring. Here's another shot of the hill village. The sun rising or setting. Yeah, setting. There's the two boats that call this harbor home, and the boat from the main village, still keeping up with the birch and the acacia wood. And now we're back at my compound. And in case you're new to this series, I'll just give you a quick overview. We're facing northeast. This big box that you see here is a what I referred to as a monster flush. Monsters spawn in this box, and I can flip a switch at the bottom and it kind of flushes them down into a hole where I could kill them from. I used to get a lot of XP and a lot of loot from this contraption. There's my observation deck right there. There's my jungle tree house. Here's kind of my main house down here. Over there is my my underground garden, and a winding staircase up to a lookout point. Yeah, this compound has seen many different expansions over the years. It started out as literally just a small hut, no bigger than Ocean Outpost. And the goal was to lure pigs and sheep and cows and chickens to the house, to a tunnel that I had built, leading to my original house to the southeast. But I figured that was going to be too much work, so I just set up a farm. And then I eventually walled in a small little compound. And then things took off. I never intended, the funny thing is, I never intended to settle here. But it just kind of happened, and I went with it and built this compound. And this compound in this shot, it's about not even half of what it eventually got to be. And I've got screenshots of that. Maybe we'll go a little bit longer. Here's a furnace wall in my Obsidian Mine down at the bottom outpost. And the bottom outpost is at the bottom of a staircase below my house. And I've got quite a bit of obsidian over the years from this mine. It's literally, I just mined until I found lava, doused the lava, and mined it. And I had a special pickaxe. I think it was like efficiency 5 on breaking 3 or something like that. That that mined the obsidian in 12 hits. So it was very efficient. This abandoned mine shaft is, I found this. This is on the eastern leg of the railway from my compound to Ocean Outpost. It's as soon as you get to where you have to hook east, this is about 20 blocks up, and I cleared this entire ravine. Got a lot of minecart track out of it and a lot of different loot. This is one of the lowest mine shafts I've ever seen in any world generate. It's on level 2, I think. Yeah, level 3 or level 2, something like that. And those were some kind of seeds, maybe melon seeds or beetroot seeds. I didn't have any room in my inventory for them. And at that point I had all that back at my compound anyway. And this is the staircase leading up to my house. You can just barely see the gate, the torch up there. This door goes to the original, well, not really it was a big room that I mined out. And I mined 40 shafts going north off that room. And that eventually became what I called the Spencer Mine. My biggest, well, not my biggest, but my longest mine. And the bottom mine is, or bottom outpost is down that way, and the Obsidian Mine is over here. And this is the bottom outpost station. This track goes back up to my main terminal at my compound, and this track goes up a hill behind me, and then hooks to the south, hooks to the left, and that's the long railway leading to the ocean outpost. And this is the front of my my house. Everything in my compound, it's not built to look good. I tried to make it look as nice as I could make it, but it's built for one purpose, and that's survival. And this compound was just incredibly safe. Like prior to the Phantom, the Phantom update, but the only things that could get in here were Endermen, but they had an unfair advantage. They can teleport. Phantoms can fly in, of course, but that's it. Nothing else was able to, well, actually, yeah, nothing else was able to get in here. I did have some pillagers try to get in here once, but they failed miserably. Yeah, I miss this place. I'll probably never see it again in person, but at least I have these screenshots to look back on. This is the upstairs level. Now I do know that there are ways to get a corrupted world back, and this world actually was corrupted back a few years ago. Got it back was by starting a new world with the same name as this one. And I spawned in the middle of nowhere, basically, and I lost everything in my inventory, which was why, prior to the end of all my videos, I take everything and put it all in a chest. But I found myself, I wandered to an ocean and found a torch, and eventually made my way back to here. And thankfully, everything in my world that I'd built, and everything in the chests and all the animals and everything was intact. Nothing was corrupt. But the chunk that I had logged out on, well, it vanished. Let's say that. There was a big hole full of water. And bits of that chunk were dispersed around my compound, like new islands in the ocean, stuff like that. And the further out that I got, the more evidence I saw of corruption. Like, well, in future screenshots, there's, well, just, I don't really even know how to describe it. It's like one moment there's an ocean, and then the next there's a big sheer flat cliff, and you can see into the cliff. You can see the caves, and you can see lava coming out of it. It's just like somebody took a knife and cut it in half and plopped it where it shouldn't be. But all of my builds were intact. But when this world got corrupted, I tried to restore it using that method, but that didn't work. And I do have, what do you call them, backups. But the most recent backup, I had done a lot of work after that backup, and I don't know if I could ever really bring myself to load that back up. I don't know. But when I logged out the last time it got the most recent time it got corrupted, I was standing in my bedroom, so if that's any indication, my entire compound would just basically be screwed if that chunk vanished. So, well, enough of that. Let's keep going. I had a good run in this world. I started it in October 2017. So there's no regrets. This is Pig's Peak. Up near where the lights are, there's like 10 or 12 pigs up there, hence the name. And since I took this, I leveled this entire mountain. It took a long time, and I expanded my compound out further. The reason this wall is so high is because things could just walk right into my compound if it wasn't. Theoretically, I never experienced that, but I was always pathological about safety in this world. And this is all taken from inside the villager hut. Back in the good old days where all you needed to breed villagers were lots of food. There's Pig's Peak back up there in the high wall. And the main wall, the northern wall. This big building here houses a Redstone Gate. I built that for my horses so I can ride in and out, and it's completely protected. I used to have a set of wooden doors there, but when I tried playing I forget exactly what mode. I had it set to something, and zombies actually broke down the doors and made their way into my compound, so I built that. I built a Redstone Gate with iron blocks, and that put an end to that. It was actually pretty terrifying. I heard like a banging noise and went to investigate and saw the doors like cracking and splintering, and then eventually they just disappeared. Kind of funny. Those guys didn't last very long after that. I gave one of them a whack, and then my pack of 40 dogs just tore them to pieces. Here's the view looking at the sunset. I always liked looking over this hill, that mountain back there. And here's my tree farm. This used to be kind of a hilly area, and I leveled it and built this tree farm. There's what I call the mace. It's a big beacon tower with 3 rows of torches on all sides at the top. The base is cobblestone because the Endermen kept stealing chunks out of it until eventually I went one day to examine it and it was floating. So I secured it to the ground with some cobblestone. Here's my chicken farm. I take eggs from my egg farm. I have another bunch of chickens in my underground farm with hoppers underneath, and I take the eggs from there and hatch a bunch of chickens in here, kill them all, get the meat and the feathers, and then get more eggs and hatch more chickens. And that kept repeating and repeating and repeating. And like everything else in my compound, my whole compound is built like a layer cake. Just things built underneath all the way down to bedrock, basically. There's something above here and something below here. Can't remember exactly what, but I see the stone bricks, and there's something up there. I think a hallway maybe. And below this is my AFK fish farm, I think. Now here's an iteration of my armory. It's, since this has been taken, it's been significantly expanded as the need arose, as I got more armor. See, this armor here, back here, I made the enchanted gold and diamond and iron, and this was my only set of diamond armor. And I never really wore it that much. Not like in the realm where I wore enchanted diamond and enchanted netherite armor. In this world, I usually just wore iron armor. Never really had the need for anything too crazy because my compound was built so secure. And I kept pickaxes and axes and swords and shovels down here. And all this armor on this side was obtained as drops from monsters. Except the jack-o'-lantern. There's the, what was the end of the armory right there. There's a door. That door is right, you can't really see it, but you can see the pressure plate right there. That's, this door here. And, this was, back quite a long time ago. Since then, I expanded the armory all the way to the end. And this is kind of underneath my, monster flush. I mined this room out here, thinking that maybe slimes would spawn in it. And they didn't. It was kind of a waste, but this, I figured I would mine the room out anyway. Below it is my harbor. There is the south sky bridge leading to the horse tunnel that leads to my old house way back that way. And this forest I call the Forest of Winter in the east shore of winter, or something like that. I kind of forget, but I explored a lot of this area and discovered some ravines that I mined out. A lot of mining below this forest. Actually, the funny thing was, I originally built this to bring chickens over from this area to my compound. This is before I knew that you could hatch chickens with eggs. So that was a bit of an endeavor, and then I expanded it to connect to the tunnel. Just killed something. Zombie, and there's another one coming. And I experienced quite a lot of glitching periodically. And there's one such example. Down there you can see the Spencer Mine. Bunch of mine shafts down there. And a ravine. And another tunnel there. This is taken from the observation deck of the architectural house. There's the armory over there. There's the long room. The Spencer Mine goes that way. There's Jameson Canyon down there. And you can see that long tunnel there. That's the minecart that goes to Ocean Outpost. Yeah, quite an impressive glitch. This this cave right here, at one point this was the only cave that I hadn't cleared, and its location haunted me for a long time. I eventually found it, but you'll see in future screenshots of this glitch, everything is lit up. There's just this one dark spot. There's the oak farm and the underground farm below it. Some mining caves and corridors and minecart track and all kinds of things going on down here. Yeah, I took quite a few screenshots of this. Most of this ravine area is the Jameson Canyon. There's the railway leading to the Forest Ravine, which you can kind of see over there. There's that dark cave. And the back wall of my compound. And you can tell I used a bunch of different blocks building the wall. I didn't care how it looked. It was more important to get the wall built. Eventually I think I was gonna get rid of this and replace it with cobblestone, but I never got around to doing that. What was that? I don't know. That is, what is that? That's, Jameson Canyon, I think. And that dark cave again. Kinda neat, eh? Where the redstone lights are, that's my old school killing zone. That's kind of a funny glitch. You can see the jungle trees are kind of cut in half, and there's a cross section of the monster flush. You can see the dark, pitch black rooms where the monsters spawn at. I discovered this ravine from this glitch, what eventually became known as the Forest Ravine mining complex. Kind of went over there afterwards and cleared all that out and mined it all out. That was a very profitable enterprise. And this is, I had just finished building my new Watchtower. 360-degree, very tall Watchtower. Because that observation deck, you couldn't really see that way because that, well, back in the old days you could. But ever since I built that monster flush, it kind of blocked the northeast view. But this gives you a very good view in every direction. I kind of miss this old texture of the glass. The new glass, you can see through it like nothing, but it's just not the same somehow. There's looking east. There's the platform off the garden room. Jungle Tree Fort. There's the land bridge. I've spoken about that before. You can see various points of interest in that forest that are lit up. This whole roof is all slabs, so nothing can spawn on it. The only place where there isn't a slab is where that torch is. That's looking south. That where that torch is there, that's one of the islands that came out of the corruption. That the chunk that vanished is over that way. Now the tree farm is back there, and there's the villager hut. But when I expanded all this out, I leveled all this area also. That's looking west. There's the mace and the southwest beacon. Over that way is the west plain. And there is the one of the corners of the underground farm, or underground garden. It's kind of a nice shot. Here's looking north at the mountains. There's the kind of the old lookout point and the garden. You can see a giant oak tree that doesn't exist anymore. I've since harvested that. There was another one where this tower was, and another one where that torch was. All massive trees that I harvested. There's looking kind of northwest-ish and southeast-ish on a flint mining run. And these paths, I made these paths, and they go a long ways. And I have a video of us following this path. It's the tour of the West Plains and beyond. And I'll put a link up in the top right corner to that video. So if you're interested in checking that out, feel free. It kind of brings more perspective, actually, being in the live world. There's the West Plain off that way. Oh, I remember that. That's my old battle trench that eventually got incorporated into the compound. And there's the Watchtower from ground level. Another shot looking to the east. I like the way I built this with the zigzag pattern of granite and cobblestone. Now this was during kind of just I was exploring to the north. I'd never really gone straight north of my compound before. But I went to the north, and I found my way to, well, I'll show you. I think I took some screenshots of it at one point. There's kind of a little outpost. My compound is a stone's throw that way. But I did some poking around, spent the night out in the wilderness. Well, there's a bit of, I guess I didn't take it, but due north of this place is the massive, and I can't even start to describe how massive this ocean is. It's just huge. My jungle is on this ocean, and even though I had to go north to get to it, my jungle in relation to my compound is actually a couple thousand blocks southeast. So that goes to show how mammoth this ocean is. I just started calling it the Big Ocean. And I rode just a ridiculous ways, even past the jungle, and still never found the end of the ocean. But I established an outpost at the end of this called Fort Strong, which sits above the stronghold I discovered. And instead of going to the right, I started rowing to the left. And eventually I came across this. And this is a pretty cool biome. Very cool, actually. I'd always wanted to find one of these. The only biome that remained for me to find in this world was a mushroom biome. I think that's what they call it. But this was really neat. Got a lot of very interesting blocks. And I found kind of a hack. I brought a bed with me, and I would put it down as soon as the sun would set. And I'd jump into bed and wake up, and no monsters would spawn. So it was a pretty handy way of doing business. But I like these, the abandoned mines that generate up at ground level. Yeah, this is a very cool place. I'd always meant to return here someday. And it generated right next to all these icebergs. And I found this nice coral reef, the first one I ever discovered in this world, because most of my world was generated prior to the aquatic update. I had to go a long ways to find this kind of stuff. Just getting to shore to set up my bed. Found a neat shipwreck. Another one down there. And there's the coral reef at night. This was really nice. Really nice. You could see my torches in the distance. Since I had gone left, I stayed to the left shore and put the torches on the left side, so you can see that they're on the right side. It means I'm heading back now. There's that Mesa biome or Mesa biome. Not too sure how you pronounce it. But how cool does that look against the torches at night? And that's the thing about traveling at night. You can see the torches from a long way off. So it's not necessary that you have to hug the shore as much as you do in the daytime. Like here, for example, you can clearly see where you need to go, but as soon as the daylight hits, I see a torch there, but barely. You really have to hug the shore to ensure that you don't get lost. There's a ravine and it looks like an abandoned mine down there. I didn't explore this. I just took the screenshot. And this is the journey back south to my compound. Got the axe out in case I met something. I don't think I really did any fighting. I was just moving the whole time. I was always intrigued by this shelf. I was meant to return there someday. You can see how tall it is. But I never got around to getting back here. You can see just how tall that is. It's like way higher than the clouds. And we're back at the compound, and wonder how much more I should do. Starting to get kind of tired. I guess we can go on a little bit longer. Here's looking west towards the land bridge. And if you're wondering about that scar, thinking it would be a really neat place to mine, I got a news flash for you. It wasn't. It was a big, colossal waste of time. Nothing there. It's funny how in Minecraft, sometimes the things that look like they'd be the best places to mine aren't, and then the most unassuming little hole that you come across opens up a world of wonder. That's happened many times in this world. Here's mining down to something, and we're back at the hill village, and you can see I've gone and made this all one big square. Instead, the wall used to kind of go out and back this way and back that way. Looks much better now. And it does look kind of dark, but back in these days I played on the mood. Yeah, you can see how nice that looks now. It's a big, big area. There was a little mine underneath this building, but I since kind of closed that in and demolished that. This is a ravine that I found beneath the house at the hill village. I had a few mine shafts, maybe a dozen, not too far down. But as I was making this one, I heard bats, and I mined this out and saw this. And I couldn't resist dropping some gravel down and doing some exploring. And this is a very big ravine, and you'll see how big in future screenshots. I have a nether portal. I built a nether portal in this village and in the main village, but they both kind of default to the same location. And I never really did anything else with these portals. Yeah, this is when I first started playing on the bright setting. I don't really see any threats out that way. Yeah, this is the, that's where we were just standing up there. And here's the gravel that I dropped in. This is a couple days later as I started seriously mining this ravine system. And I had different corridors that I built. This is kind of like the 5-star ravine of my survival world. It's awfully dark and spooky up there. And yes, I did get all that iron and coal and gold. And here's a shot so that you can see how tall this ravine is. Here's right at the bottom. Here's a shot kind of looking up. We're still not at the top. There's the top, way, way up there. So this is a pretty big area. But I mined it out pretty good. Pulled a lot of loot from this area, and the best part about it was all the flesh from the zombies that I killed down here. I brought them right up to the village cleric and got a boatload of emeralds. See, in my compound, it was below an extreme hills biome, so I mined emeralds naturally. Here I couldn't, so this was an added bonus. A lot of mining took place here. I prefer strip mines, but these ravines are very productive because they generate so much ore in the walls. All you have to do is just build levels every 10 blocks around the ravine and mine it all out. Now I'm rolling somewhere. Again, it's kind of tough to tell. Maybe between villages. Yeah, would have been. I like that shot. That's the Hills village. This is the main one. So here is a screenshot of my old house, my first house that I constructed, with this massive watchtower. I built this house when I was terrified of going outside. So it's just, well, I won't make too much comment on that. I had good reason for fearing the outside, but I've gone over that before. If you're curious, it involves a skeleton and a creeper chasing me through my house and through my mining tunnels, terrifying me right out of my wits. I now refer to this as Seaport. This is a very tall tower. I used to have a single ladder going all the way up, but I fell to my death numerous times. So then I had a series of trapdoors and ladders going all the way down. Took a good 5 minutes just to climb that thing. This is right there is where I clawed into this hill my first night in Minecraft. And then I expanded and kind of built this, just a single floor. And when the creeper chased me through the tunnel, I was too scared to go back up this way, so I made a whole new staircase that brought me out over here. Then I built this area and connected it with a tunnel to the original house. And that cobblestone that you see there, that's the horse tunnel leading back to my compound. This is a very crude structure, but it served its purpose for me. Still have a lot of fond memories back many years ago playing out of this base. Here's the roof of my storage building where I used to store all of my stuff. Well, all of my food. For some reason, I guess because it was in this kind of colder climate, I called it the cold storage building. That's actually almost perfect because straight that way is my current compound. And that beach right there, that's where I spawned into this world when I first created it. And you can see some blocks of trees that I didn't even cut the whole tree down. I just punched out some blocks of wood. I was so terrified. Here's looking around the sea. I circumnavigated this sea. It's not very big. That level there is my, right here. This level here is my bedroom. Or was my bedroom. There's an old staircase I had going up to the top of the hill. And this crudely constructed watchtower. I spent many a night at the top of that tower, gazing out at my empire. It was very small back then. Here's a view. I got around to clearing this cave. I was always too scared to go into this area when I lived here. This is the long room. Through that door is the staircase down to the bottom mine and up to my compound. And these are all the doors leading to the mine shafts. This is the South Spencer Mine. Here's another fortress. This was a pretty spooky encounter. The wither skeletons would just appear out of nowhere, it seemed. This was the first and also the last time that I explored this nether fortress. I think at this point I had used up my sword and my bow, and I was down to a pickaxe to defend myself. It was just a scarring experience. And I think here I was building a railway from my nether outpost to the nether fort. Here's the my short-lived blaze spawner. Had hoppers underneath to collect the blaze rods. This didn't really work. It was once in a while the blazes would spawn outside this enclosure, and a few times they even spawned in this area. So that led to me building my blaze farm. Now this is my slime farm. Right at nightfall, I took this screenshot and then went back into my house, literally just snapped this, went inside, and kaboom. It was like 15 different things spawned in that 2 seconds. If I would have stayed out here any longer, I would have been a dead man, probably. But this was my my slime farm. This is a swamp, and I cleared a big area here and lit up all the area around it. And I've got iron golems on slabs. They can't get out. And the slimes spawn and kill themselves on the cactus. And hoppers underneath here pick up all the loot, and I have tunnels going under here. So I got a lot of slime balls from this, and I needed a lot of slime balls because I needed a lot of sticky pistons for my blaze farm. You can see a zombie holding a slime ball there, and other things kill themselves on these cactuses also. See a lot of zombies. Here's a sunset from the main kind of common area of my compound. It's a nice shot. It's my little blacksmith shop. In this room is my underground farm, and above it are my oak trees. And here's the finished blaze farm. This, I probably died more building this than I did in my entire tenure with this world. It took, I think, a week to build this, and I died like, I don't know. It got to the point where I wouldn't even bother wearing armor. I would just take some cobblestone in my hand and just build the wall, knowing I was only going to last like 10 minutes. So, but eventually when I got this all sorted, I was home free. Nothing can spawn. Well, I guess technically maybe a ghast could spawn in here, but I'd never seen one do that. But the blazes would spawn in their box and get shuffled down here, and I would get all the blaze rods I needed for brewing and whatnot. Worked very well. If you're interested in building something like this, I got the idea from Avomance. He's got a tutorial on how to build this. Same with the slime farm. Same with the monster flush. Here's me looking out at the nether fortress from the security of my outpost. There is another blaze spawner on another tower just out there. There's a nice sunset, early sunset. Here's the backyard of one of my killing zones. Here's my secondary stockroom, as it used to be. Got leaves, vines, ender pearls, and eyes of ender, slime balls, magma cream, what do you call those, blast charges or something like that, blaze powder, nether wart, nether quartz. Just the tools of the trade. This, at least I don't know, I salvaged all of this nether brick from the nether fortress and built this. I don't actually know if you could get nether bricks back when I built this any other way than getting them from a nether fortress. Maybe you could you craft or smelt netherrack into nether bricks? I'm not sure, but back when I built this, I was under the impression that the only way was to mine them. And this I still wish that I would have just left this in cobblestone. I think it looked better that way. But I eventually converted this whole building to netherrack, or nether bricks, sorry. Just as kind of a status symbol saying, hey, look, I got all this from a nether fortress. Those are jack-o'-lanterns that provide light for that corridor. Here's the back end of the Jameson Canyon. I hadn't been through here, so I decided to come and mine it out. Here's a cat. Old Blue Eyes. Here's the conversion. Got a bunch of nether brick fences and steps and fences. There's the finished product. I guess it doesn't look too bad. It certainly doesn't look like anything else in my compound. Sure pops when you look at it. There's the furnace room down there, and that glass goes. It's a window down to my AFK fish farm. There's the glitch. You can see my cobblestone mine down there. I had to mine out, believe it or not, I actually ran out of cobblestone at one point. I was building so many walls and encasing my nether railway in cobblestone. So I had to mine out a bunch of cobblestone. I now have or I had rather, 4 double chests full of cobblestone. So I dare say if I ever restore this world, I'll likely never run out of cobblestone again. And I like being up in this watchtower because it snows up here. Rains down in the lower elevations, but up here it's all snow. Here's a ravine, big spooky ravine, clearing it out. Here's the library of this stronghold. I've since moved all of these books back to my compound. And here's Fort Strong, view from the wall. There's some of the torches back, heading south on the overland route back to the compound. I have a railway that services this outpost. Here's the ocean. Over that way is the way to the jungle, and that way is the way to that mesa biome. Long ways off, both of them. There's Fort Strong and the original outpost for this area that I have since dismantled. And there's not much to Fort Strong, just a big garden, basically, is it. And the stronghold beneath it. And here's a shot of my my zombie farm. It's a zombie spawner below the iron farm in the West Plain. And this is an early early shot of it. You can see the finished product in one of my last survival series videos. I'll post the link to that in the top right corner of the screen if you're interested in seeing that. But the zombies would spawn, and I took this idea from RelaxingASMR. They drop into this ditch, and I kill them, and there's hoppers underneath that collect the loot. Here's my banner. Shot of the observation deck. Here's a creeper that's kind of doing what he does best, just kind of creeping on me. He's staring at me through the window. There he is again. This is the Outpost building for the slime farm. Due east of this is Ocean Outpost, and the railway that runs from Ocean Outpost to the main village on the Southern Ocean passes through here. This is where is this? This is northwest, I think. Yeah, northwest of Fort Strong. At a nice big desert temple. And a village that I walled in with, well, I didn't really wall it in, I fenced it in. I took the cleric from this village back to my compound because I didn't have a cleric. Here's the stacked ravine. There's an outpost down there for the first abandoned mine that I cleared. This is underneath the West Plain. I've done a lot of, since this, my strip mine goes all the way through this area. It's all dark down there, but these days it's not. Nice snowstorm. Or just snow flurries. Yeah, this watchtower is pretty neat. I kind of like it. It's crude, but it's pretty neat. This is the Polar Ravine. I think you may recall I mentioned that ravine complex. It consisted of a surface ravine and a series of caves that eventually led down into here. Down there is some glass. That is the minecart going to the Ocean Outpost. This is a pretty big ravine. It's the second biggest, I think, in my world, in my survival world, that I've ever run across. And yes, since I've gotten all this, I remember walking out on this ledge being pretty scared that I was going to fall. And there's a shot of the compound. It looks so short because these days it's it goes all the way down, and the high wall looks pretty ridiculous, but that's how it once looked. Oh yeah, this is just before I started leveling Pig's Peak. This was a bit of a job. I used up all my TNT for this, and I still had to do quite a bit of it by hand. Here's the waterfall looking out. Yeah, this was a process. And yeah, there's the glitch. You can see everything all lit up, all the corridors, Jameson Canyon, and other caves and minecart track. And there's that dark cave that I could never seem to locate. It's right behind where I eventually found where it was, is right behind the wall of the Jameson Canyon Outpost. Probably why, yeah. You can see there's the outpost there, the two waterfalls, and just behind I mined into the wall and found that cave eventually. Took some doing. And there's Pig's Peak gone, and I built this enclosure. It's got kind of 2 levels, and I grassed it all over, and I built an artificial village. A new villager hut and 5 houses, and moved all the villagers that were living in the villager hut to this new village. And it turned out pretty nice. And you can see, since Pig's Peak is no longer there, I took the wall down. Just made it the same height as the rest of the wall. So there's my big long wall. There's on full brightness. There's the compound back there, and the horse tunnel. Here's my enchanting room. I always liked coming in here. There's the harbor, sky bridge, and that slime room that I dug out that no slimes ever spawned in. Here's the enclosure with the jungle tree fort and the monster flush. Another shot of the enchanting room with the brewing stands and the cauldrons, and the black stained glass ceiling looking up at my house, and the other window looking out at the garden area. There's looking down into that room. It's kind of a neat room. And this is when I started playing briefly with Chroma Hills texture pack. Here's the enchanting room. This is a really, so I eventually just went back to playing in the regular pack. Here's my drawing room with the fireplace. It did look really cool, I have to admit. But holy smokes, that's a lot of pigs. I remember kind of going, I started at the top and worked my way down and took all these pigs out, took all of them out. Yeah, so there aren't pigs there anymore. View out into the tree farm. My main killing zone at the front of the castle. But by this point, this was all lit up to the point where nothing would really spawn out here too often. They'd all spawn in the tree farm. It's a nice glass killing zone. I had to replace the glass a few times from creeper damage, but for the most part, most of it is original. There's the Redstone Gate. Oh yeah, this whole series from here on out, for the next 24 screenshots where I don't have any XP, I took all these screenshots to show my world. So here's the gate and open. And from the other side. And here's the circuitry that allows the gate to work down below it. I originally had a battle trench that I had to demolish to make this room. There's the gate entrance. Here's my old fishing hole. This is kind of underneath my furnace. My furnace room is up over here. Here's my dungeon. Every castle needs a dungeon. My armory. My main storeroom. This is the original house. This was how it used to be. It was just a cobblestone structure, and down the stairs I had a bed. That's how it started. But these days it was a lobby. Here's the door leading up to my bedroom, and down there's the door leading to the stairs, leading way down to the bottom outpost. There's a door leading to my main storeroom underneath the granite and grass courtyard. On the right is a door leading to the enchanting room, and on the other end is a door leading to a corridor underneath that leads to tunnels. Here's the spider-proof walkway on the side of the house. I built this back before I built the walls. I remember killing plenty of monsters back out here, back when this was all wild country. Here's the inside of the sky bridge. This was a RelaxingASMR design. I took his design of the causeway and kind of built this. I thought it was pretty neat. Here's the compound looking back up that way. This is the horse tunnel that I can ride a horse back to my first house. This was originally just a 2-block high thing, but took a long time, so I expanded it to the point where I could ride a horse through here and shorten the distance. These days I had a minecart leading to the original house. It was actually just past Forest Ravine, whereas this, I built this to avoid all the caves that I encountered. So it's a winding road that takes forever. Not a very efficient use of time, even on a horse. Here's the harbor. This was a cave that I converted to a harbor. And I built this other room in here, and I have one type of boat for every type of wood. 6 types of wood, 6 boats. Here's my dark oak forest and my monster flush. Back there is a door that leads to a south battle station. There's the door leading to the armory. And this is the granite and grass courtyard, and below that to the right is my main storeroom. Here's the jungle tree fort. And the vine ladder. Nice big bay window overlooking the train outside. An early version of my food pantry. You can see the blocks from the enchanting room back over that way. And my patio is right above this. Like I said, it's built like a layer cake. Speaking of cake, there's my cake chest, apple chest, mushroom, pumpkin, beet. Got all my meat along this side, and cookies here, melons here, potatoes and bread. There's a door leading back into my main storeroom. Here's my snow farm. I have never-ending snow thanks to these snow golems. And this is a cold climate, so they don't melt. They spawned with jack-o'-lanterns on their heads, but I removed them. So there's 2 of them, each sitting on a block. And if I take a shovel and mine the space in between the block, the snow reappears instantly, and I get basically 2 snowballs each time, and I can get snowballs very quickly. This is below my fishing hole. Here's my nether portal. It's across from the snow golem farm. My underground horse stable. This was a lot of fun making this. I took the design from this and incorporated it into my mauled unit in the realm. Outback saddle and tack, the source for your horse. If you're ever in the underground village, feel free to stop by. So this is the, there's a tunnel that I can ride the horse up to the surface, going by my nether portal up here. And there's a door leading to which outpost? The Falls Outpost, which is just over back that way. And there's another level to this stable down this corridor, which is where I have my donkeys and my mules. And there's a staircase, another staircase leading up to the sky bridge. It's up the staircase and then to the left. And there's the sky bridge. And this is all the armor, horse armor, and saddles that I had at this point. I have double this now. Many more. I've got about 5 or 6 pieces of diamond, about 8 gold, and like 12 or 15 iron, and like 2 chests worth of saddles. And here's the Falls Outpost Station. It's the first outpost. Up this track is my main terminal in my compound. You can see the leaves from the stable through there. So this is the first outpost in this series of outposts, named because of the waterfall cascading down in this cave. There's a series of caves there that I ran through like Superman, clearing them out. No fear in me then. And then down there is the glass cave, which is the second series of outposts. So this is the glass cave, named because of the way that I cleared these. I kind of glassed off portions of them and came through here with dogs, and they really helped me clear all this out. I have a little outpost here. There's the waterfall. And there's one of the glass caves. And another one down that way. And a big long room. And at the end of this room is the glass cave ravine. And I took I mined corridors in the walls of this ravine. And this is way back. This is like early 2018 when I did all this. The gorge ravine is up that way. And yes, I have since gotten that gold. This was kind of my rendition of R's ravine below his compound. And that cave up there actually winds its way back up to the surface, just outside of the double-wide battle trench. Here's the Glass Cave railway station. This is the gorge, the first ravine I ever found. Here's the tunnel linking the South Spencer Mine to the North Spencer Mine. There used to be lava where that glass is, but I built kind of a corridor through there instead. And down here, these days, this is all a big, massive strip mine. And it is a proper, massive mine. I have that mine featured in that one of my most recent survival series videos. And I'll post a link to that up in the top corner here. It's actually the same video that features the zombie farm. A lot of good memories up here. Here is a long, long room that I mined out, just off the gorge. Here's the Jameson Canyon Outpost, the railway leading up to my terminal. This isn't really one of the series of outposts. This is a separate line. I have many different lines. And that cave, the dark cave that I was telling you about in the glitch, right behind here. So this is there's the upper canyon up there, and the lower canyon down that way. This is the one we can see very clearly in the glitch. And this is kind of a basin. Down through that door are some deep caves. And here's a good view of the basin. This is the Glass Cave Ravine down through there. This is kind of in the gorge area that I took this. There's a big, I mined the ceiling out of there and found lava and just kind of let it fall down. There's an old ladder leading down to the North Spencer Mine from the gorge. Here's the north station of the Spencer Mine. And these are a dozen mine shafts that go for thousands of blocks. Like I said, not the biggest, but by far the longest mine in my world. They go way underneath the big ocean, and clear to the other side, actually. Here's the gorge from the minecart terminal. This is the North Spencer Mine is the third in this series of outposts on this line. It goes the main terminal, then the Falls Outpost, the Glass Cave Outpost, and then this outpost. Hope I'm not boring you with all the details. And there it goes way down to the distance. Then this is a corridor leading to the lava canyon, where I used to mine obsidian prior to my Obsidian Mine. And this is a pretty long canyon. I made a couple different corridors through here and connected them up with the Glass Cave ravine. I remember mining these corridors. And I hadn't explored this area yet, but I did, and I got a very, very large haul of loot out of the rest of this and all these caves over here. Like all these. There's looking up at, I think, the gorge. Yeah, the gorge. From the corridor linking the south and north Spencer mines. Now this is the second level of the south Spencer mine, and this is the lower level. You remember that room with all the doors? That's down at the end. And here's a ladder leading up to the sky bridge. Here's an outpost at the second level of the North Spencer Mine. And a cave. You can see where I kind of built right here. That's that big long room that goes through there. Down there is a door leading to that long room. So here's the sign: the South Spencer Mine and the Bottom Mine are accessed through this door. There's a staircase leading back up. There's a door there leading to the Cobblestone Mine. So there's the long room. Here's the Bottom Mine. It's a 2-level. This is the first mine in this location. I mined all this out back in 2017. Behind the cobblestone there is the railway that goes to the ocean outpost. And down here is where I caught my first glimpse of the Jameson Canyon. And here's just kind of a corridor out. Up that staircase is the basin with the outpost. And yes, I have gotten that coal. Here's the direct line to the South Spencer Mine from my main terminal. Down that corridor you can see the door leading to the glass corridor in the gorge leading to the north section of the mine. And this is the staircase that goes down from the Falls Outpost. Falls Outpost is up there, Glass Cave is there, and down at this level is the gorge strip mine. I've fallen down this ladder to my death a few times. So now we're in my terminal, and I've got some signage saying, kind of depicting the different railway lines. So down here is the Forest Ravine and the Jameson Canyon. There's a switch right about there. Then the Forest Ravine goes down that way. Jameson Canyon goes down that way. And the Forest Ravine has a couple switches also. And down this one is the Obsidian Mine, the Spencer Mine, the Bottom Outpost, and this is also where that switch is. Remember, in the Bottom Outpost, we can go to the ocean outpost, the ocean villages, and the slime farm. This is the line that'll take us there. Down that little area there is the armory through there. And there's the staircase. That kind of follows the same track as that railway. It's a long, long way down, right down to level 12. And then this is the series. The Falls Outpost, the Glass Cave, the Gorge, and Lava Canyon are all down here. And this is also the express track to the north, Spencer Mine. And then through this, down this track is the North Bay, where the Fort Strong is, the West Plain, the Iron Farm, the Stacked Ravine, the Zombie Farm, and Fort Strong. It's all down that way. And this area here is what I used to refer to as the Void. When I built this railway, I encountered this massive black room. And I eventually found it to be a big, kind of a box cave that's through there. It's underneath my underground farm. And here's the door to get into the monster room, and the door to get into the killing zone of my old school killing zone. And here's the room of the killing zone, and there's the monster room. And my flower garden is directly above us. And here's the monster room with the lights on. So the Void is through there, also the Twin Caves and the Villager Hut access. Here's my egg farm. Here's the Void. I've enclosed more than half of it. It used to be this big gaping hole. Now it's just kind of a little cave. Here's the Villager Hut. It used to have doors all the way down it, but these days all the villagers are living in the Pig's Peak village. So this was just an empty building, and I've since demolished it. Here's the Piston Staircase that I used to get villagers from another village to the Villager Hut. And in this, I was just showing R how to make the Piston Staircase. So there's my compound back there, the Villager Hut. The architectural house that I carved out of this cliff. The stable for that house. The mossy cobblestone fireplace made from dungeon stone. The little harbor. The swimming pool in the basement. This took a long time to build. And here's the double-wide battle trench that now sits in the middle of the Pig's Peak village. And I planted some gardens for the villagers and made a well. It's a pretty cozy village. Very happy with the way it turned out. Here's some villagers in the new village hall. Here's just showing R how to make a shield. And a banner. Now, this is my horse tunnel. Down that way to the right is the staircase that goes down to my main horse stable. To the left and then to the right up that way is the staircase leading up to my courtyard where the access to the Redstone Gate is. And through that way is the sky bridge. In that room is my my snow golems, and in that room is my nether portal. This is what I called an ender channel. If an enderman was to spawn in this tunnel, I could get in there and kill him from complete safety. And I spaced them out every so often along this tunnel. You can see the horse tunnel going through there. Here's my automatic wheat processing machine in my garden. And my melons and cocoa beans, beets, pumpkins, sugar cane, potatoes, netherwort, carrots. Yeah, this is, I was very proud of this garden. There's the railway leading to the Forest Ravine, I think. Or no, leading to the West Plain. Here's the basement of the West Plains Outpost and the first fireplace ever built. Here's the path. You can see the mace back there and my compound over that way. And this is the West Plains Outpost. Just kind of a small building with a massive tower. And a stable. There's a battle trench. And another piston staircase leading up to my iron farm. Now I had villagers trapped in boxes and doors all the way around. I would get iron golems to spawn in a box where they would be flushed down into a lava blade which would kill them, and then hoppers would collect the iron. It actually used to work pretty well. And I had all these chests to collect the iron. Now here's the West Plain line. Iron farm through that door. My compound is that way, and Fort Strong is that way. Now here's a door leading to the zombie farm and the zombie caves. Here's my battle trench at night. Here's the farmer's hut. It sits above the underground farm. Here's the entrance to the Watchtower. Here's my nether portal in the nether outpost. Just a small, simple little outpost. And the nether railway leading to my nether fortress. Here's the horse tunnel again. Now we're in the horse tunnel. A shot of the harbor. Making our way out of the harbor. It's got quite a presence to it, this place. Going under the sky bridge. Here's the southeastern corner. There's Pig's Peak Village, the architectural house. Another shot of the architectural house. Here's my first sand mine. This was an island that I mined all the sand from. Here's the horse tunnel running through there. You can see, for a point of reference, there's the architectural house there. The horse tunnel here. In this screenshot, the horse tunnel's there. And we pan to the right, and there's the big watchtower of my original house. And now we kind of go through the house, I think. Here's a harbor of this house that I was returning one night and got shot out of my boat by a skeleton. And I didn't know how to swim, so I drowned and lost everything. Here's just a little work room. This house is very basic. There's a door leading to the staircase leading down to the mining tunnels. Here's my bedroom. Just going downstairs to the lava lake mine. I did a fair bit of mining in this place. I was terrified of going outside, so I did spend a lot of time underground. There's the outpost, and I did manage to gather some resources from this area. Enough to get a full set of diamond armor, anyway. Here's the inside of the house. It has a glass floor. Here's the stable and the horse tunnel. Originally, I thought this was just an island, a small island. I was going to level it, but I quickly found out that it wasn't a small island. Not at all. Now here's the third level. That one over there was a pretty small island, but I wasn't a big fan of the ice that connected all these. I figured a monster could just walk right across. So I never really explored that island. Kind of wish I had. This was an outfit that I used to, I built it to battle spiders and used it a few times. I was always too scared to go to the edge of the wall and lure the spiders over. Now this is an example of my trapdoor system in the Watchtower, going all the way up. And I had various levels. Here's the corridor leading to this section of the house. Back in that area you can see a dirt beacon tower marking Lilac Lodge, which is the halfway point between here and my compound. You can see the land bridge going off that way. See, when I originally, I wanted to see if I could row around this ocean, but I rowed that way and then came to the bay and then rode up the creek and then established my little farming outpost, which became my compound. There's Lilac Lodge. This used to be the top at one point, but then I built this glass encased enclosure And that redstone torch is just for decoration. This was back before I knew what redstone torches were. First tree that I cut into. And now we're on the land bridge, heading back. Or we'll head back in a sec, but now we're on the land bridge, heading over to Lilac Lodge. It's basically a trail of torches between my old house and the compound. And this predates the horse tunnel by a considerable time frame. Here's some creeper damage. It was after this happened that I decided to build the tunnel. Now there's Lilac Lodge. You can see my observation tower back there. And right over there, you can't quite see it, but just past that horizon is my compound. And this is about the same size as my compound house started out as, so it kind of gives you an idea for the scale. I was never really focused on building some big giant thing, just as long as it provided shelter. Just enough room for basic utilities and a bed underneath, and that door leads down to the tunnel. And out here is where I had that infamous battle with the witch that scarred me. And now we're back on the land bridge. And there's my compound. And now we're back into regular screenshots of gameplay. Here's my target. Nice shot of the compound through the floor of the observation deck. So then I went to work on this section, building kind of a walkway and a yard along the south side, in a turret with some jack-o'-lanterns. Here's the Forest Ravine. I'm in the bottom of it, mining out the ravine. Here's another branch of the ravine. And this is my version, if you're familiar with RelaxingASMR's survival world, I liked his apartment so much that I built my own version of it. And this bedroom is directly below the Pig's Peak villager house, and the ceiling keeps getting higher and higher. And another glitch. Ceiling's a little bit higher already. And then the roof. 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 And then the This was after I harvested all the trees on this side of the path. Here's the Obsidian Mine. Here's the furnaces, and I mined all this obsidian out. There's the door to the bottom outpost station. I put a jukebox. Back through here is an elevator I built using boats to get up to the surface. Here's my obsidian and glowstone bathtub. And kind of a back view of my compound. It's starting to look pretty good. I remember when this glitch opened up, I came down and took a bunch of screenshots. You can see that even clearer now, the dark cave. All the work that I did down below my compound. Here's my apartment. See if I can, so there's the stables, a ravine back there that I cleared after I saw that. That's just where some gravel had collapsed. Jameson Canyon. This is the track leading to the Jameson Canyon going that way. Forest Ravine going this way. That's the one going down to the bottom outpost and the staircase. Spencer Mine, Glass Cave Ravine, the gorge through there. There's the staircase, the Falls Outpost. There's the minecart leading to the Falls Outpost. The horse tunnel. Armory. Apartment. The void. Upper Jameson Canyon. Lower Jameson Canyon. Or no, that's the lower canyon there. The upper canyon's up here. You can see the corridor I made all the way around it. This glitch, I was underground and the glitch opened up. This was when I was trying to locate that dark cave. It's right kind of in there. I did find it though. It's right there. There's the cobblestone mine. There's the long room. And there's the Forest Ravine complex. You can see it's all lit up now. And this is when I was leveling the remainder of the yard. You can see an old tunnel leading to the architectural house. And that's how it looks today, or looked up until I lost the world. The new A-frame battle trench, and I had to build that wooden deck because directly underneath that is the obsidian ceiling of my bathroom, and I didn't want there to be a bunch of obsidian there, so I built that patio. So that's kind of a nice, that's basically how the world looks now, or looked up until recently. A far cry from the big mountain back here. Here's my battle wall. big jungle trees. Here's the blaze farm, putting some work in, getting some blaze rods. Here's a load of loot from the monster flush. This is from probably one flush. It was very, I mean, you can see it's packed full of monsters. There's another haul. That guy doesn't look too happy. I put him out of his misery pretty quick. And more of the same. More hauls from the monster flush. This thing was an awesome build. All these bows came from the monster flush, believe it or not. Here's the zombie farm. I put a glass floor in and started building the walls out of wood. Here's the zombie farm outpost room. And the zombie ravine. Up there's the minecart leading to the iron farm, which is up over there. And we're making progress. I took this because of the amount of creepers that were out here. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 creepers in this one area. It's pretty nuts. Took a while to grow 3 birch trees of the same height in this area. Furnace is all blazing away. There's the finished zombie farm. I forget what I was doing out here. Something to do with the iron farm, I think. Yeah, that's a nice room. Far too nice for a zombie. There's in the zombie caves. And the little elevator that I built to bring the flesh directly into my chest in the outpost. Worked pretty good, but things started to get pretty laggy. There's a nice shot. Pretty big place. It looks a lot bigger than it is because of the wall. There's a cave. That didn't look right, so I've since put a kind of a wall going down that way just to kind of support that. Here's the view to the west. I think you can kind of. Can you see it? Not really, no. Because that chunk that's missing is out that way somewhere. Yeah, I'm very proud of this compound. I put a lot of work into it. This was all survival, too. The secondary stockroom. There's a skeleton jockey. That's the first one I'd seen in this world. This chest is almost full of mended bows. There it is. And I didn't make a single one of them. There's the Christmas chests. Yeah, that's pretty much how my house looks to this day. Here's the West Plains and these corrals that I built. Here's the iron farm over there, and the new Watchtower that I built at the West Plains. The bridge leading back up to the compound. It's a nice shot. So now here we are. This is a world that I kind of wanted to try out a survival world. So I built this one, and I think I played on it for like 2 days and then deleted it. But I took this screenshot of this cave with all these ores all over the place. Flying around. This was my first experience with flying. It's pretty neat. I like this screenshot. I might use this one as the thumbnail for this video, maybe. Here's that creeper's playing hide and seek. Yeah, I like these abandoned mines in these biomes. And I found this mushroom biome. I never found one of these in my survival world. So now we're back. There's my oak forest, and directly below it is my animal farm. And I enclosed my target practice room. This is a pretty neat looking room. Yeah, now we can start to see evidence of corruption. You can see that. It's like it was cut away with a knife. Doing some oh yeah, here's at this point I'd filled up my my iron chest, and this is when I started blocking everything up. I had to move, I had to take the redstone chest because I was expanding this doorway. And as soon as I took the screenshot, I scooped all that redstone up. I just thought it looked kind of neat sitting there. That's a full double chest worth of redstone. There's the new magma wall in my furnace room. I think that looks pretty good. And then just kind of looking at some of my maps. There's a treasure map that I never got a chance to explore. Here's my bedroom. The revamped main stockroom. So there's the door down to the nether portal and the snow farm and the AFK fish farm. Through that window is my old fishing hole. Through there is the furnace room and the staircase up to the main storeroom directly above this one. One, two, three, four, five, 6 skeletons spawned out here. Bunch of zombie action on the back patio. And the glitch opened up once again. I built another sky bridge to my, connecting the architectural house to the compound. And this empties up right into my chicken or my egg farm. Built kind of a little garden in this area. And now this is the lava canyon. I didn't get that piece of coal, but I got a lot of loot from this area. This is all that I got from it. All that coal, all that redstone, all that iron, gold and lapis and diamonds and emeralds. And the diamonds in this pickaxe came from this mine also. So now I had more iron than I could fit in my chest. So that's when I started blocking everything up. Same thing with the lapis. This was kind of neat. I took this screenshot because this is a convergence of a desert, dark oak, that extremely tall poplar, savanna, and forest biomes, and a river biome in the middle. So this is one of the outposts. Kind of like the look of it. And there's the path. If you follow that path, it'll take you back to the compound. And I mined all that cave out. I have a little outpost there. West Plains Outpost. The aftermath of a fierce exchange with a skeleton. I cut this tree down shortly after taking this screenshot. Nice view of the compound. Takes up a lot of space. It's a proper compound. Quite like that screenshot. Here's looking south, west, kind of a shot of my house, my elevator building. Here's looking down at some of the villagers. Here's a desert village at the end of the line beyond West Plains and some beacons showing the way home. Big lava lake. And this is a ravine below that village. I did some mining here. Not a whole lot, but decent amount. There's the Outpost building. I kind of miss the way that these villages generate. The new ones are, I don't know, maybe I'm just, they just don't have the same feel. Now here's some more corruption, where all these buildings were just cut in half and kind of plopped down there. Here's my outpost, one of them, and another spectacular glitch. So here's the compound in full brightness and in the moody setting that I used to play in. I'd gotten so used to playing in full brightness that I couldn't take this. Everything just seemed so dark. There's a staircase up to the observation deck. I opened up a new mine in the Cobblestone Mine. It's a pretty big room, but I mined below it. And I got quite a good haul. You can judge for yourself if that is a good haul, but I'd say it is. For a couple hours of mining. This is the Zombie Ravine. This ravine actually connects through a bunch of different caves and winds up back at the gorge, believe it or not. Here's a big oak tree. Had to take that screenshot before I cut it down. Nice view on top of the wall. My walls are double wide with overhangs on either side so the spiders can't get in. It's a nice big wide walking path. Here's a view looking southwest. There's a room that I just finished mining out to put my mushroom farm in. There's a mushroom farm. I can grow mushrooms and harvest them and get all the mushrooms I want. It's a pretty neat setup. Another glitch. Here's the revamped food pantry. Looks pretty much the same last time I was in there. And I was doing some work out in the front yard. Just kind of sprucing things up a little. The garden is above this room. The mushroom farm is behind that wall. And another glitch. There's an expansion to my stockroom. I was thinking of expanding this patio to the end of the wall, but I don't think I ever got around to doing that. There's the West Plains animal corrals. There's an iron golem burning in the iron farm. View the West Plains from the Piston Staircase. There's an entrance to the mushroom farm down there. And a new battle trench that I built in the front yard. These trees I planted way back in 2017. There's the expansion of the storeroom. Forest Ravine. The Forest Ravine skeleton farm. This thing was a wicked producer of bows and arrows and all kinds of stuff. And most of the time the skeletons would kill each other, as evidenced. I put the yellow stained glass in because I found that it was very easy to see to the back of the cave. Otherwise it was all just pitch black. And that's from like 15 minutes worth of work. Pretty good haul. Pig's Peak Village. This is what I consider to be the biggest ravine in my world. This is the first ravine along the line to Ocean Outpost. Polder Ravine is the next ravine. I'd always wanted to explore this, but I never got around to it. And now I likely never will. It wraps all the way around this whole area and goes off that way. It's a mammoth ravine. And there's a cat blocking my way back up. Here's another ravine just past Jameson Canyon. This is before and after I kind of lit it all up and mined it out. Here's a door to the surface ravine mining complex off of the skeleton farm. Here's a skeleton farm outpost. There's through that. So there's this is the Forest Ravine line. So back that way is my compound. To the right switch is the Forest Ravine. And then the skeleton farm is down that way. Same thing with this switch. Back to the left is my compound, and that way is Forest Ravine, and then that way is the Jameson Canyon. Here's a shot of my main minecart terminal. There's the iron farm switch. And the revamped front yard. I kind of made this pool rectangular. Made the front yard look a little bit nicer. Here's chickens. And almost a full chest of arrows. And almost a full chest of enchanted bows. And I have another chest full of bows to repair. Here's a chest full of just odds and ends, different things. and some potions and enchanted books. This is looking east at Fort Strong. And this is me paddling around the ocean to the jungle. It's a long, long paddle. About 45 minutes. There's a cow in a tree. He's been there for a long time. And lily pads floating in the water from the last time I passed through here. Now there's the jungle outpost as it was when I left it. But I spent about 2 or 3 months here and completely rebuilt this. And I have a video where I took you guys on a tour of the jungle outpost, and I'll post that video in the top corner if you want to see it. But finding this jungle was a big milestone for me. I was able to get jungle wood and jungle trees and tame these wild cats and get some cats and watermelons, and yeah, this was a big milestone for me. I had a chicken in this little enclosure, but these little guys are crafty. You can see him poking his head through the wall. Eventually they managed to kill this chicken. I resolved that I wouldn't stand by and let that happen again, so I kind of got a little carried away. I built a wall that didn't keep them out. I started glassing in the enclosure till I had a pretty nice little fort. Started a garden and built a proper chicken pen. Built a new bedroom up top. Started taming cats. Planted some vine on the walls. Eventually they wrapped all the way around. You can see all of them trying to get in to get the chickens, but they couldn't. And it ensured me a steady supply of cats. Now there's a new building, kind of a tool shed with a trapdoor leading down to the mines that I was mining out. And this is when I rode past the jungle outpost. Did some exploring. Found this interesting shipwreck in a mountain. I couldn't help but explore. Got some pretty neat loot out of that thing. This village looks like it just spawned in the middle of the ocean, but there's an island behind it. But it's pretty well hidden from this angle. You can see the structures, the foundations of the buildings go way down to the bottom of the ocean. And I built this little patio around the sides. There's a chest with some of the stuff some of the loot that I mined, and glass and maps, fishing poles, and a chest full of a bunch of different things. So things were coming along pretty good at this outpost. Expanding. My compound is way, way off in that direction. There's a door to a mine off that way. Here's the process of turning a wildcat into a cat. Here's a big glitch. Looks kind of like the end of the universe there, doesn't it? So things are really starting to shape up here around this time. I found 2 or 3 abandoned ravine or abandoned mine shafts. Here's a ravine. In a video, I actually mined around this ravine. It's in the same video as the jungle outpost one. Up there, you can see through the ocean. You can actually see that's the jungle outpost up there. And there's that hole that we were just looking through, right down there. Here's the roof. Bunch of cats trying to get in. Here's another glitch. I saw another abandoned mine over that way and made my way over to that. I didn't explore any of this stuff. Here's in one of the abandoned mine shafts, doing some smelting. Here's my storeroom beneath the jungle outpost. Oh, I put the torches in the walls, gave it a more clean appearance. Just some of the contents of the chests, I think. Yeah. All the oak wood is from the abandoned mine shafts. Same with all the string from the spider webs. And all the fences. Quite a bit of coal that I managed to mine here also. I had a pretty good time during the months that I spent here. I built a nether portal and I built a nether railway. So I connected the railway to my nether fortress outpost. So travel time between the jungle fort and my compound was about 10 minutes as opposed to 40 or 50. It was a great time saver. Built this little patio. Here we are in the nether, doing some fishing. These, there's some torches that you see there. That's going around that way, hugging the shore. The left-hand shore is the boat track that takes back to the Fort Strong. It's the way back to the compound. And I explored both going on that way and across the other way as well. And still never found the end of that ocean. Here's the updated storeroom. Bunch of cats begging to come in. And right around here, or no, maybe not. This is where I built the, or maybe not. Let's see. Oh yeah, I built that little fireplace. It's made for a pretty cozy room, especially on a rainy night. Yeah, I was building a well, and when I broke this wall open, all of these wildcats came in, trying to get the chickens. So before too long, I had an abundant supply of cats. I've got probably twice as many cats as I do dogs now. Put kind of a stone sidewalk in front of the buildings. Here's a tall jungle tree back there. And I built a walkway in between, well, two walkways. There's the first one. There's the second one with a big observation walkway at the top. Looks pretty nice, doesn't it? It's a long way up and a long way down. And here's where I was building the nether railway back to my nether fortress base. There's the nether fortress. A view from the roof of the outpost. And there's a view of the outpost. There's the river behind my compound. Here's the nether railway. You can tell by the reddish tint. Planted some trees. There's that big tall jungle tree. And I canvassed a lot of this jungle area looking for melons and wildcats. And I put a lot of torches around to kind of keep the creepers away. Here's one of the rooms that I mined out below the jungle outpost. Hey, that was pretty neat. See the hunger bar icons are exactly where that cat's eyes would be. And you can see all my cats. I brought quite a few of these back to the compound with me. Speaking of the compound, there's a nice shot of the north wall right at sunset. And another infamous glitch. Here's the railway leading from the architectural house back to the terminal. Here's my glass phantom fighting station. And a glitch. What else is new, right? And some villagers. And the target shooting room. Briefly, I tried to kind of go away and build a new outpost and kind of start over, but that didn't last very long. There's another skeleton jockey. So I kind of turned it into a battle training ground, but I was only here for about 2 or 3 days, and then I went back to my compound. Here's another glitch of the monster flush. And here I was kind of showing R how to build a villager hut. What I used to breed all my villagers back in the day. This kind of setup doesn't work these days, though. Kind of revamped my brewing room. These days, this building houses my llamas. Here's my bedroom at my apartment. And the kitchen, the living room, brewing room in my compound, the mushroom farm, and the process of growing one and harvesting one. And my mushroom chest has gotten pretty well stocked since I built this farm. And here's taken during a flint mining run at a very high elevation. It's kind of a neat view. I quite like it. Makes everything look so smooth. There's a nice view looking south, west, north, east. There's a battle station. And another ravine that I encountered during a mining expedition. And I think this was shortly before I destroyed the old villager hut. Yeah, that's a nice view. Maybe I'll make that the screensaver or the thumbnail for this video. There's my main horse, Stormfast, and some of the other ones. Nice shot up on the wall. Yeah, this is when I was converting the demo hut. This is actually, I was bringing my llamas back with me. There's the a view of the railway leading between Ocean Outpost and the main village. This is a ravine underneath the slime farm. And here are the llamas back in the converted new demo villager hut. They're a pretty happy family by the looks of things. This is the Polar Ravine. There's the village that the villagers let the zombies into and got massacred. That's by Ocean Outpost. And the land bridge leading to it. Bringing back another llama. This is at one of the stopover points on the land bridge, of which there are several. Or actually no, this is at Ocean Outpost, I think. No, this was at one of the stopover points. This is at Ocean Outpost. There's the dirt path leading back. There's the walled-in village. And another nice glitch. He's taking a bath. We'll just kind of leave him be. There's another nice view. That's the view of my compound that you get when approaching by water or by the land bridge from the south. Here's the Piston Staircase. Here's the mace, or no, the west, some big tall beacon tower. Chopping wood in I don't even know where that is really. I think maybe to the southwest or something. killing zone. Oh, this is, yeah, when I reinforced the wall with obsidian. There's the a glitch showing the cobblestone mine, the long room, Forest Ravine, etc. The villager hut. Stairs leading up to the observation deck on top of the villager hut. There's the skeleton farm you can see through the ground there. And the railway leading to it. One of the backyards just outside the turret. I saw this other part of this ravine through here, and I went over there and cleared that. There's the Forest Ravine railway. It's kind of a neat shot. The villagers and the iron golem like spending time up on this platform. As you can see. I like this sequence. It's like the villagers are getting kind of frisky, and he's looking at me, telling me to mind my own business. And I'm still kind of there looking at them, and he's telling me to get moving. Now he's right up in my face. He's a pretty good protector of these guys. I think right after this I got shown the door. Oh, and then here's one of the boyfriends. It's getting up in my space. I could have taken both of them out if I wanted to, but I didn't want to. I later replaced this with an elaborate sign. That's a nice sea of torches out there on the wall. He almost looks like he has hair in this shot. My grandfather had hair very similar to that, actually. Here's my tree farm down there. I built kind of a little walkway connecting my bedroom to the ladder going up to the Watchtower. Here's the inside of one of the villager houses. I was putting some carpet down. This corridor is where they all like to gather. We were having a pretty good conversation about putting up a new sign. And there it is. Pig's Peak Village, the summit of society. Get it? Here's the back wall of the archery room. And I decided to spruce the place up by planting some flowers. And built some porches on the buildings. Gotta love these glitches. There's one of my giant spruce trees that got struck by lightning, a couple of them. So if you're wondering why on our survival nights in the realm I always get rid of the lightning storm, so it's because I've had to deal with this in situations like this a couple too many times in my survival world. Completely shattered that one, and then there's not much left of that one. Here's in my Obsidian Mine. And we're going to stop right here, because now we're getting into early screenshots of the realm. This is the first screenshot I ever took of the realm. And in the next screenshot video, we will explore the origins of the city of Patronville. So, I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.